Welcome back to Ringer Tailgate, the CFP Rankings Finale Edition. We are reacting to the fact that we finally have 12 teams in the bracket. We have controversy, which is kind of the only tried and true tradition we have in college football. Dating back to 1936, the AP poll was created for controversy. We have more controversy, and we have more questions. Obviously, we have a few answers at this point, but first and foremost, let's say what's up to Van Lathan. Van, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Playoff carnage. Let's go. Ringer Tailgate. Yeah.
Yeah, we're locked in. We also got Joel Anderson in the place to be. Joel, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up, bro?
They were raising the roof on Sunday Night Football, which is also another hat tip to Joel Anderson. But there were some people in college football that were not raising the roof. That, of course, is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We will talk about all that. But first and foremost, let's just get opening reactions to the fact that we have 12 teams. The first controversy kind of came in at number 9. The first 8 was self-explanatory. We expected that. Number 9, Alabama, comes up on our screens. When you saw Bama, Van, I know Bama is something that, kind of hangs in the balance for you. When you saw Alabama, the big A, pop up on your screen, what was your first reaction? Ringer Tailgate is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live and your way so you can build the bet that fits your play. Plus, you don't want to miss out on holiday offers and surprises all month long. Download the FanDuel app and head to FanDuel.com/tailgate to get started. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
That the committee wanted to protect the conference championship games, and they did not want to have the conversation, or at least the conference championship games are going away. It's just something that cannot last that long in the current construction of college football. Maybe if they expand the playoff, we have a different way to do this, or whatever it is, however you look at it, right? There's a different type of weekend. But they just did not want to have the conversation about the conference championship games. They don't want to have that conversation yet. There hasn't been enough talk at the upper levels of college football amongst the bean counters about what they're going to do. So the easiest thing to do is just put Bama in, even though Bama, if we're really talking about it, didn't just look bad in that game. They've looked bad for an extended period of time.
About a month.
So some people could say that, hey, Bama looking bad against Georgia, a team that they beat earlier in the season, is just kind of the natural progression of the fact that it doesn't seem like their team is really playing its best football right now. Can't run the ball. Ty Simpson is up and down, all kinds of things, right? Can't get a stop, get off the field when they need it. So they did not want to have that conversation about Alabama, so they just said, hey, they earned it in the regular season, and they just put them in.
Don't you think if the Kirk Signetti was asked about who he'd rather play, and at this point in the season, he probably would have been like, yeah, I'll take Bama or Oklahoma over Notre Dame, right? Like if they had the capacity to give him some sort of truth serum, he'd be like, oh yeah, I don't want to. Notre Dame seems like the most difficult of those teams to
especially after last year, right? I mean, they got blown out by Notre Dame.
Yeah, so I'm certain that this is a better look for them, and yeah, I mean, I think that Van is right about the conference championships. I think like 10 years from now, there won't be conference championships. Maybe even 5 years from now.
Maybe 2 years from now.
Yeah. Whenever these contracts align and when everything get right. Because I mean, if you think about it, the SEC championship game didn't impact basically a single thing. Like Georgia stayed where it was. Alabama stayed where it was. Even though if you can lose in the championship game by 3 points and not drop, then the game didn't matter, right? Like I mean, because I don't.
You mean
3 touchdowns? Yeah, 3 touchdowns. Have you? Because has that ever happened in any poll in any week in your life that a team has lost by 3 touchdowns and not dropped in the poll? I can't remember that ever happening. The Big Ten championship game impacted the order of the 2 seeds. And I mean, I just, the Big 12 championship, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like none of the impact is not the same, but like BYU was never going to get in. They didn't get in, right? And the ACC championship, like that actually had impact, but it was like in a way that they would prefer not to have. So I'm thinking that like conference championships at this point they're just tripping people up, man. And they're just going to do away with them. And really the only ones that people get excited about are the SEC pretty much every year, and sometimes the Big Ten championship, and especially since they've done away with divisions. So they're like, okay, yeah, we can do that. But like, I mean, we saw the ACC game on Saturday night. Like, that is what every ACC championship game has looked like in my life. Like, I've never seen one where it looked like, damn, that scene is amazing.
Going forward, maybe not for this season, but going forward, I'm a start, in addition to Big Van on campus. Maybe Big Van on campus is out. Maybe that was a pilot season thing.
What?
Because I want something new. I want to talk about the cuck of the week. I do. I want to talk about
I don't know if we can sell that to the sponsors as well.
And so, just for the second, just remember who's up here claiming who's like coined daddy. Okay, just think about it. Just let it soak.
Focus. We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Joel, stop talking about your big daddies.
Yeah, let it go, bro.
No,
Jesus.
No, I'm just saying.
Virginia is the cuck of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Virginia cucked out. Can you imagine what a playoff berth would have meant to that football program? A football program that is flirting with relevancy, that took advantage of abject chaos in the ACC. Chaos. Florida State, chaotic season. Miami, to a degree, chaotic season, right? Like, obviously, Clemson, chaotic season. Like, all of this stuff happening in the ACC, they are right there to be able to take advantage of it, and they cucked it up. Capital C-U-C-K to Duke.
Billy.
And do not make the playoff. Terrible.
Billy, make Van explain what cucking is for people, because there's some people, Van, may not know what a cuck is. So do you want to?
Why are you bringing Billy in to explain it?
Well, he's our boss.
Billy,
Billy our boss.
Billy's the expert.
You explain what this is, Joel.
That's a
Billy's our boss.
No,
it's not. No.
If it was like, yo, man,
I was asking for. I was just saying for permission to see, because we didn't workshop this. We didn't have
permission from the Duke.
Yeah.
Now you're the cuck of the week.
You know what?
Why?
Okay, no, it's not. No, I can't be no cuck. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the wrong thing to say. You can't say that.
No,
you can't say that.
Billy. I want Van to explain what a cuck is for people. Go ahead.
You know what it is, Joel. You tell him.
Okay.
I have no problem.
We'll go away then, Billy. Go ahead. Get out of the screen. Fine. Go ahead. Go. Kiss if you're not gonna help. Van,
I just want to watch.
See why I asked him for permission? See why I asked him for permission? Yeah.
There you go. Now we get it.
Wait, I thought, are you really gonna do? Are you not gonna explain cuck and we're just gonna move on?
No, a cuck is someone that likes to watch somebody fuck their significant other. Okay, like I don't know why you think that I won't say that to the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
If the audience
I'm trying to get clarity. I'm not trying to press
wants
you.
A blow detail of pure taboos classic scene, Daddy Diddler. That if they want,
Daddy.
I'll do that. Like I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't get bashful about that stuff. But when I took the time to think about what Virginia had in front of them, and exactly what it would have meant for their football team, their football program from a prestige standpoint, what it would have meant from a visibility standpoint and accomplishment standpoint, and the fact that they went out there and lost to Duke, that is cuckish and terrible. I know nobody's going to talk about it because nobody's going to care, but Virginia had a golden opportunity to be a part of this playoff, and they threw ragu all over it.
And the significant other in this case was the ACC. You know, that's what they watched. They watched Duke almost destroy the ACC, which brings us to the number 10 seed when it popped on the screen. Because I do think in an alternate timeline, if Virginia wins the ACC championship, Virginia's in obviously automatically. They're probably the 11 seed. And that probably means that Miami would not be in because there would be ACC representation. I don't think they would have put two ACC teams into the playoffs. So again, 10 pops up on the screen. Everybody has an expectation based on what we've seen on Tuesday nights for Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, to be there at number 10. But in the words of Lee Corso, not so fast. It was Miami. The Hurricanes pop up on the screen. Joel, what were your thoughts when you saw Miami pop up?
Yeah, well, real quick. Also, I mean, Virginia also the ACC kind of rigged it up. I mean, Virginia actually had more conference losses, but they just didn't count that season opening game against NC State, even though they're both in the same conference.
That was a non-conference game. We talked about that early in the season. That might actually matter. It turns out it did.
Yeah, so they kind of rigged that up too anyway, and that probably hurt the ACC in the end. But yeah, when Miami popped up on the screen, I was surprised like a lot of people. But I think the thing, no matter who got left out and no matter who popped up in the 11th seed, I would have went, it just because it was, I mean, you can make a reasonable argument for all three of these teams.
For anybody, yeah, for all of them.
Right. And so the thing, I mean, so when you lose, it just gets into this kind of stuff where you got to, well, I don't know. This is a non-conference loss they had right here to Florida State versus they lost their first 2 games of the season versus, they dropped 2 games to unranked teams late in the season. So it's just, they're going to have to make a decision. Somebody worthy is going to get left out. I mean, I think Vandy had like a case to be included, right? I think BYU had a case to be included. I don't think Texas had a case to be included. But I just think that, it was going to be difficult. It was going to be a surprise. I'm impressed that the committee had the guts to go ahead and move Miami, knowing that they sort of knew what the complaints were going to be, what the critique was going to be in front, which sort of leads me to my one big reaction.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
Can we grow up? Can we grow up? Can we really not handle a weekly made-for-TV show?
Do you
about
remember the
rankings?
Challenger? Can we grow up?
Yeah, grow up, man. It's time. Some of y'all, man. I'm saying. I mean, that Iran-Contra. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oliver North. Just fucking go, bro. Okay. Talking shit. Oliver North.
They made the MLK holiday when I was a kid, and I remember it. So anyway, you probably don't remember that though.
I still remember it. I remember the first time they had it. Joe, I remember it. I remember the first time.
2 years younger than you.
I legitimately remember the first time we were out of school, and my mom made a stand at the school. She was like, it's good to have the kids home, but we should also do something to make sure the kids learn about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so my mom got us homework. The first day that they did it, we had to do worksheets on Dr. King and the whole 9 and stuff like that.
Mom's a great woman,
I remember
man.
it.
It's impressive. Okay, hey, man. Right.
Billy said that we need a new
Kudos.
segment. Billy, what are your thoughts on Joel's grow up claim?
Yes, so Van obviously has Big Van on campus. He just changed it to Cuck of the Week moving forward. So Joel, I feel like you need branding for like your segment that you want to do. So I feel like new segment, Joel, it's just called Joel's new segment, Grow Up, Daddy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Billy, man, you didn't come on here. I don't
grow up, Daddy.
It's better when it's 2 versus 2 as opposed to 3 on 1.
Joe, when you open it up.
Now it's my time for my time. Now it's
I'm
time
not
for
doing it. No.
Grow up, Daddy. Like, say it.
Why don't you want it so bad? Why don't you do it, Van? I'll let you cuck my idea. How about that? Like, you can cuck my segment.
There you go.
That.
Yeah. Cuck my segment. Anyway, the point is
segment. Wow.
Anyway, so I see everyone, and it's, Notre Dame folks and people in college football media who aren't us complaining about how the weekly shows set up everybody for disappointment. And I mean, first of all, this is good for ratings for college football. Like, that's how y'all get the attention and money to do shit, right? Like, so I don't understand why you would want to take away a promotional vehicle for your game, but also, boo fucking who? Are you all 3 years old? My son, Desmond, he is the light of my life. I love him so much. He's a wild card, man. A very difficult person to please. And one of the things I had to learn, I love him. Light of my life, man. My son. First. I never expected to have a son. One of the things I had to learn the hard way was to not tell Desmond to expect things. Or I couldn't give him too much of a heads up on fun things because he'd be like, oh, I'm ready now. I thought you said we were going to a show. I'm like, no, son, it'll probably be 3 days from now. Well, I want to go right now. That's how y'all sound, man. Y'all, the committee changed, and they did something that actually was so obvious. It wasn't necessarily inevitable, but it's so obvious. Like, you guys knew to understand. You guys knew that was a possibility. And they're like, they fooled Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame got really hurt because they got their hopes built up on that. I'm like, come on, man, grow the fuck up. We're grown-ups. Like, we knew that this was a possibility. And like right now, y'all sound like my boy Desmond, but I don't love y'all like I love him.
I can't wait till Desmond says to you, grow up, Daddy.
Grow up, Daddy.
He does say, Daddy, why are you so silly? That's what he says, Daddy, why are you so silly?
Good question. So the pouting that's coming from Notre Dame, I wonder if Notre Dame realizes that the pouting and the opting out of the bowl, they're basically solidifying every single thought, negative opinion, and general dislike about Notre Dame that everyone has. Yep. The thought is that Notre Dame are upper crust spoiled elitists who don't want to be completely integrated into the college football experience. They want all of this type of individuality that's based on this tradition with none of the requisite winning or disappointment that comes along with this for everybody else in college football. That's what Notre Dame wants. They want to have their own network contract. They want to be independent. They want us to remember Paul Hornung and Wee Willie Williker from 1937 and be like, Notre Dame's tradition is enough for us to let Notre Dame kind of do their own thing. Notre Dame doesn't even have to do disappointment the way the rest of the college football world has to do it. Because you do it and you go play in the bowl game, you get the 15 extra bowl practices, you continue the narrative of your school while you're doing that. But they go, no, we got disappointed. After we lost 2 big games in the season, we got disappointed. So we're not playing anymore. We don't have to come out and play and participate in bowl season and participate in the culture of college football because we didn't get what we wanted. Man, fuck Notre Dame. Like that, to me, I'm just being for real. To me, like, what does your protest mean? What does it, are we going to, like, what does your protest mean? What are you trying to prove by not being, you were on the cusp of the college football playoff and things didn't break your way. Why don't you dry your tears with a couple $1,000 bills?
Right. Well, here's the thing.
And play BYU and beat them and then prove that you should have been in, right?
Wow.
Just
They
do
should have
what,
opted into. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I really don't get what this protest is supposed to mean. I don't understand what this is supposed to get at. What is the outcome that not playing, denying your team the bowl practices,
Right.
like the entire deal? What is this supposed to do?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is that they want to signify how mad they are. Like, I mean, this is more about a show of power, and I think the ACC is in trouble. I just heard, I think it was a clip they were playing on Twitter earlier of the Notre Dame athletic director on the Dan Patrick show, and he was like, "We're really disappointed in the ACC." Like, you know, and he said something along the lines.
Well, you should have joined.
They said it permanent. Look, Tate getting upset. You don't got.
I mean, that's just the reality.
ACC.
It's like, they're not going to lobby for you. Like, you put your toes in the water, but you don't want to join the pool.
He said that this may have, I think, and I'm pretty sure I'm quoting him correctly. He may have permanently damaged their relationship with the ACC. So that's that. So that they want. Wow. Damn, Tate.
Bye.
Okay, it's like, get the fuck out. It's fuck Notre Dame with Van and get the fuck out with Tate. Jason Whitlock would call this anti-Catholic bias. Okay? So we need to look at it. But real quick, I'm worried about Marcus Freeman and his reputation. Because, like, I'm kind of surprised at how mad everybody is at Notre Dame.
It's a petty move. Yeah.
It's a petty move. And it's not, I don't think it's the right thing, but I'm actually kind of surprised at how mad people are at Notre Dame collectively. And I'm like, bro, like, reputations are really hard won and they're easily lost. And I just, this is one of the things people will be like, well, they quit that one time. Like, I feel like this is going to be one of those things that people bring up all the time. Remember that time they quit when they didn't get their way? And,
Man, shout out to everybody in Tallahassee. The people in shout out to everyone in Tallahassee. Shout out to Florida State. Florida State a couple of years ago put their team on the field. Their team played football the entire season, won all of their games, lost their quarterback, got denied the playoff. Through opt-outs and everything, Florida State was strong enough in culture to show up on the field really, really undermatched. They played the game. They played the game.
Got whooped.
Yeah. Got whooped. They played the game.
Nothing has been the same since.
But took it on the chin,
but
though.
when it was time to play football, they showed up and they played football, right? They showed up and they played football. They did not let disappointment. What is the worst message that you can give to kids or young men or young people? That disappointment is enough of an excuse for you to quit. That is the last message that a locker room full of young men needs to hear. You're disappointed. That means you don't have to participate. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We didn't lose, we quit. Yeah.
Yeah, and when Florida State shows up on the field and they actually play in the game, I hated to agree with Danny Cannell. That's one of my least favorite things to do. But Danny Cannell lauded them and talked about what it meant for their culture. He was right.
Yeah.
He was right. What does it signify that Notre Dame is so aggrieved we're so hurt. Touchdown Jesus is not going to grant any miracles now that we can't play football.
Oh,
no, man, that's whack.
Grow
That
up,
is
Daddy.
Whack,
Yeah.
whack, 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 whack.
Man, it's funny because, I don't want, look, everybody knows, so no anti-Catholic bias on my part. I went to all boys Catholic school. I'm just saying, it's protecting myself. I'm protecting myself.
Billy did want to point out that Florida State also turned down a bowl game this year. But again, we're talking 2023 Florida State.
They want to hurt college football and their broadcasting partners and say, all right, y'all fuck us, then we're not going to play your game. Like, we're not going to give you a ratings boost. We're not going to give the attention that Notre Dame gets. Like, them
we
not
got
being
Catholics
there is
versus
a big loss.
Mormons also, which would have been a great game for the Holy War. Right?
Yeah, man.
Holy war.
And I wish people, again, this is all part of a bigger cultural thing. I wish people were better at taking L's in public. Like, just as a country, like, I feel like we all need to learn how to get our ass kicked.
We need better sportsmanship. Yeah,
we need better sportsmanship. And, like, it just signifies, like, when things don't go your way, we'll change the rules, we'll go home, whatever. It's just like, dog, I'm sorry, man. I know that sucks.
We all lose.
For people.
We lose.
Just turn your hat around. Now, let me tell you where I got this from. There's this guy, this philosopher named Joel Anderson that I do a podcast with.
I knew that.
He put a hat on one time, and the bill of the hat was fucked up.
Okay, man.
So hold on for a second. He put this hat on, and he did it so smooth, I didn't even notice it.
Man.
The bill of the hat was like the Rockefeller sign. That was that shit. That was the bill of the hat. Joe's shit was the Rockefeller sign. Put this in. Like, the bill of the hat was messed up. Joe saw it. He took the L. He did not complain. He did not argue with the chat. He didn't do anything.
He course corrected.
Without even mentioning it. Just turned his hat around. And boom, we did a fucking killer show. Notre Dame, man. The rest, just turn your hat around and go out there and get it done, man. Bro. You're a football team. You're supposed to be playing football, man. What the fuck is going on in this goddamn show?
Yeah, it's not a loss. It's a lesson learned. Yeah, that's what it was.
It's true. It's true. Man, we're never going to see Jeremiah Love from college football again, bro. It's over. That's it. That's shocking to me. That's the other thing about as a football player, man. You only get so many Saturdays, man. Like, you didn't get to say, they were up until 21 hours ago, they were working out. They were expecting to go through this again, like to have something to look forward to, and all of a sudden it's over. I just can't imagine. I know that was not a unanimous decision. There's no way that everybody can benefit from more tape, especially against an elite opponent. But that would hurt me, man, to lose that opportunity. That would hurt me.
Ring Your Tailgate is brought to you by FanDuel. The college football playoff is almost here, and FanDuel is turning every future into a bigger opportunity because right now you can get a 30% profit boost to use on any college football futures bet. Just open the app, find your college playoff futures market, and apply your profit boost right at checkout. I like Miami plus 2,200 to win the CFP. Why not? I would love to hear Notre Dame fans be upset saying that was our job. That was us. We were supposed to win this thing. Visit FanDuel.com/tailgate to get your college playoff futures profit boost today and take your shot at a boosted future bet. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Reese Davis, one big question. Reese Davis said this was the most controversial CFP decision ever. Do we think that's true, Joel?
No. I mean, I felt like the 2023 FSU thing was a pretty big deal at the time.
Me too. That felt like the watershed moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they did change. They did change the way they see the tournament, in part because SMU got in over Alabama last year. So, like, what's the difference? Alabama getting left out, Notre Dame getting left out. Like, what's more controversial? They're both about equally the same kind of brands. But yeah, they were so mad last year about Alabama getting left out that they changed it. And then the year before, when they put Alabama in over FSU, it was just like, oh my God, FSU. it reached the levels of government where they were talking about, well, man, maybe we could take action against the NCAA, all this other shit. So it's the kind of thing that, like, I mean, every year seems to be the most controversial. I understand why this seems like a really pivotal moment, because it's not often Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has told people, okay, we're going to show y'all. And they cooking something up, man. They really are. Like, they huddling up right there in South Bend. I don't know what they're going to do. So I get that, but nah, every year is the same shit, bro.
I saw something that Notre Dame was looking to contractually enshrine themselves into the play. Is that a real story? Did you guys see that?
It is real.
Yeah, it was from the AD. Yeah.
So what? So can we explain that to the people? One of you guys who I saw it, I didn't quite understand what was going on.
Yeah. Basically, they're saying if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 12 moving forward due to TV, contractual obligations, whatever, if they're in the top 12, they're automatically in the CFP. And if it expands to 14, then I guess the line moves to top 14.
Yeah. Now I gotta say something real quick, and I'm not trying. I was one of the few media figures that didn't take sides in what happened last year in the rap game. I was one of the few people who didn't take sides, right? Because I got people on both sides. One of the best people out there is Matt Babel. He works with OVO, I got people on the Kendrick side, and I just looked at the rap. I thought it was great rap. I thought it was a great beef. But there was one thing that really turned me off, that almost made me go, one side deserved to win, and that was when the litigation came in. And what Notre Dame has done with that move is made themselves the Drake of college football.
Wow.
Now, when the music all came out, you can decide who won the battle. You can decide whether or not you like Family Matters, whether or not you like, what were some of the records that came out, man? I can't even remember all of the records that came out.
6 a.m. in L.A.
6 a.m. in L.A. You could decide all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You could decide whether or not Like Us was the killer, which it was. You could decide all of that stuff. But you can't sue, man. Even if you're going to do your litigation, do it a couple of years after the beef so it doesn't look like it's directly connected to what happened in the beef. That is the deal where it was like, all right, it's official, the left coasters won. That is Notre Dame.
Shit, man.
Notre Dame coming out and doing this and getting contracts and stuff like that involved. It is the same thing as a lawsuit being waged in the middle of a rap battle. It is a contractual, it is a cultural no-no. You don't do that. You don't run and tell the principal when you got roughed up. You don't do that. Well, you can if you want.
Tattletales.
But you don't do that. You handle it where you're supposed to handle it. Notre Dame was supposed to go out on the field and thwart something and then come back and go, the best team in the country was left out of the playoffs. Look at what we just did. And shred the integrity of the situation by playing football. That's not what they did. They pouted, and then they tattled what is going on in South Bend.
I guess a school that's independent and has always worked as an independent doesn't have to worry so much about what everybody else thinks of them, man. Because it's shown that they've never had to worry about that. They're not subject to the same mores as other, conference members, right? So they're telling you that, like, we don't care how we look in this situation. And that may be fine long-term for Notre Dame. They may get their way. Like, they've already got, college football over in a barrel a little bit. But I do worry about, like, Marcus Freeman, man, because you're going to be the face of that. Like, that's the thing. You're going to be the face of it. Like, Notre Dame, like, I don't even, it was Jack Swarbrick. Is he still the AD at Notre Dame?
No. No, he's not. I can't remember the guy's name.
I saw the game. Yeah, it was something different. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Pat something, yeah.
Yeah, but like, you're going to be the face of this, Marcus Freeman, and it's just one of those things that I think every coach needs as few demerits on their record as possible, and you don't want to have this sort of thing on your resume and in your Wikipedia file. So yeah, man, I hope it works out. I hope they don't have to do this again. But yeah.
Would they be as upset? I mean, and this is kind of playing devil's advocate. I know the Catholics don't want to hear that because I'm playing the devil here. But I mean, if they didn't have the Tuesday show and they didn't have them ranked above Miami the entire time, would they be as upset as they are, right? If this was Sunday was the first time they saw the rankings and Miami's ahead of them, I feel like the vitriol that they would have wouldn't be as heavy. But the fact that they were ranked in front of Miami the entire time, that's why they do have a little bit of an argument and a little bit of a reason to be upset. So is that fair, Van? Because they obviously saw that they moved in an idle week.
Yo, I'm not saying that Notre Dame doesn't have a legitimate gripe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that the way it shook out, it was going to be difficult to put Notre Dame into the playoff over Miami, and particularly the way that the CFP schedule, in terms of not the schedule, the way that the shows are scheduled hurt Miami, because Miami had, I think, was it a 2-game losing streak where they lost 2 out of 3 in the initial weeks of the CFP playoff rankings coming out. So when they first came out, Miami had a lot of catching up to do because they dropped so low, because that was the time when their season was in disarray. If the CFP rankings would have come out week 3 and Notre Dame was 0-2, maybe Notre Dame wouldn't have even been ranked in the CFP rankings, right? And then they would have had a lot of work to do to get back. But by the time that happens, they're looking good. They've washed the bad taste of the 0-2 start out of the mouth of the people. And at that snapshot time, at the beginning, they looked like they were better than Miami, despite the fact that Miami had beaten them. So Miami's playing catch up the whole season, and Notre Dame is kind of coasting until things get tight at the end of the season and people realize, you know what? Notre Dame can't go in over Miami. If we do that, then we're diluting the importance of the results on the field. So how are we going to figure this out? Notre Dame's got to get left out. All of that stuff is just bad luck. It also has to do with the fact that they lost the 2 biggest games on their schedule, and they have to own that. They have to own the fact that they lost the 2 biggest games of their schedule. However, we know that the team is live. We know Notre Dame is live. We know Notre Dame can go. They got the most dynamic offensive player in the country to me. You got to say what you want about Jeremiah Smith. I think Jeremiah Love is the most dynamic offensive player in the country to me. They play really disciplined, sound football, and they've cracked heads for the last 6 to 8 weeks of the season. They've done what they've had to do. But it didn't happen. And it didn't happen based upon the way things shook out outside of their control, and it didn't happen based upon the way things happened that were inside of their control, that they had control over.
Yeah.
So,
also, they make their own schedule. Right, so they stacked it early. Things rolled in the second half. They have a lot of scheduling power too. There was always a possibility that by starting off with that group of games, that you're going to lose both of them. Like that's why you schedule them, right? And so like that was a real risk to their opportunity to advance in the playoff, and they took that risk, which is good for college football. But whatever. But, you know, man, so, look, they have a legitimate gripe. I understand them feeling devastated. And they even said something along the lines of, like, when they were leaving the meeting room yesterday, like, you could see them, and it looked like they had, you know, they were feeling the aftershocks. But, bro, I mean, what does that mean for the bowl season, man? Is bowl season, I mean, This
is the biggest opt-out that we've had in bowl season.
I'm locked in for bowl season, baby. Give me the citrus, baby. Give me the Texas Bowl, baby. I'm locked in for the bowls. I want to see who got left out of this and what they got to say and how they going to play. I'm always in for the bowl season. I love a random football game at 3 a.m. You know what I loved? This is what I love. I remember watching TV one day, and it was talking about who was going to play in the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. And I was like, the what?
Yeah.
And they were like, the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. And so I was like, you know what? I like the fact that on a random Tuesday or Wednesday in mid to late December, the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl is being played between, I don't know, the Salukis and the
Southern
Horn,
Illinois?
yeah, like whatever. It's like the game is just
I went to
happening.
Wazoo Fresno State at the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
I went to Utah State, and I can't remember who they played in the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Shout out to all the people over there at the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Shout out to Jimmy. They hooked me up. So I went
also,
over there.
RIP that bowl game. Gronk
Bowl
took
game's
it over.
gone, but like so I like the quirkiness and wackiness and randomness of bowl season, and as long as it is around, I will support it. It's one of my favorite things about holiday time is odd, weird football matchups that are
got the Snoop Dogg Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want them to act like.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't want people to act like that stuff doesn't matter because it really does. Like, not only is it like just good to watch on TV, but those kids, they get an opportunity to build camaraderie, get better, go someplace different. Like, it actually is like a kind of a really cool thing. So yeah, man, I would hate. I don't think it's because it's just too easy for them to make money holding those things, right? Like it's just fish in a barrel, especially that time of year. But it's kind of I don't like the idea that a team can just be like, nah, we ain't gonna do it. But do y'all remember the Blue Gray Bowl? Do y'all remember You do?
No, I don't.
Explain it.
You don't remember the Blue Gray Bowl?
Nigga.
Grow up, Daddy.
Just tell
Grow up. Oh, dog. I thought you were old enough. You remember everything. How can you not remember the Blue Gray Bowl?
I don't remember the Blue Gray Bowl.
I think Van was 5 when it happened and you were 7.
It was like the Shrine. I think the iteration of it now is the Shrine Bowl now, but it used to be a group of college all-stars from the blue side. So, this is, supposed to be a figurative version of the Civil War. One side represent the blue, one side represent the gray, and they played in Alabama. They played. I think it was in Mobile.
I think by the time the Shrine Bowl I know, but I don't remember it being called the Blue Gray Bowl. I don't.
Yeah, the Blue Gray Bowl, and they played it on Christmas Day, and they also used to play the Aloha Bowl on Christmas Day too.
Yeah,
they used to play the Aloha.
Can we talk about some playoff matchups that we're into? Can we talk about like the season, how they shook out? Tate, what do you like? What do you like? What's your biggest takeaway from the bowl? What do you like? Who do you think has the easiest draw? Let's get Tate. You know what, Tate?
Oh man, you let him answer the question. You gave him a bunch of stuff, and now you won't let him go.
Well, I will say this. I feel like the 1 and 2 seed had a really Billy's giving us facts on the Blue Gray Bowl as we were talking about this. I think the 1 and 2 seed got a tough draw. You know what I mean? If you're just looking at the matchups here, kind of the same thing as last year, where you almost feel a little bit better if you're Georgia, right? I mean, you play Tulane or Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin, Tulane with John Sumrall 1 foot out the door as well. So like pretty good draw for Georgia, the 3 seed. And then if you're, the 4 seed, JMU or Oregon, I mean, we're still trying to figure out what Oregon actually is this year a little bit. And JMU, congratulations, you made the playoff. But I think that's a pretty good draw. But if I'm Indiana and Alabama is meeting me in the bowl game, even if they are the better team, which we all agree that Indiana's the number 1 team in the country, just seeing Alabama with a bunch of blue chippers across the field, I feel like that's going to be a tough matchup if Alabama handles business. And then Ohio State getting Miami or Texas A&M, I feel like those are 2 live teams that could really make a run. So again, I think 1 and 2 got a tough matchup, got a tough draw.
Well, no, and Tate, you know what? IU is not just let's just say OU wins, right? And that game is at home for them, bro. I don't know if you all feel the same way about these teams. I don't think Alabama and OU are very good, but I definitely think that if OU advances and you have to play against them, you're going to be in a street fight all game long. That defense is incredible. They have a great defense.
I think both of those defenses are really good.
Yeah, both. So like IU could win that game and they're the better team, but it still is going to be very hard because that defense is going to make everything a fight for them in that game. So yeah, IU kind of got screwed on this. Kind of how just last year.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the number 1 seed gets screwed every year.
It shows you. Yeah.
Does it make sense the way this is bracketed, right?
No.
So it's James Madison is playing Oregon. So James Madison's the 12 seed. Oregon's the 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing Oregon. And then the winner of that game plays Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. What do you do? Because here's the deal. What do you do to make sure that the number 1 seed is rewarded during the playoff season for having the best season? What do you do? Do you reseed after? Okay, that's what you would say. You would reseed after every round.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think you play. Yeah, exactly. You play the highest seed.
Yeah. I don't know why that's impossible to do. It seems like that doesn't.
Well, we have no precedent either. I mean, I think that's the hardest part, even with the committee. Like, there's no precedent set, so nobody can really say, well, that's what you're supposed to do because nobody knows what you're supposed to do. So they change it every single year. So if we're going to change it every single year, why don't we just keep tweaking it until it's, quote unquote perfect, even though nothing's perfect. But I do feel like the number 1 seed last year got screwed in Oregon, and I feel like Indiana could again this year because Bama, OU, those are 2 talk about 5-star talent on the defensive side, especially. You're going to see the level there, I think, unfortunately.
To your point, Georgia has to play the winner out of Miami and A&M.
Yeah.
Indiana has to play the winner out of Alabama and Oklahoma, while Texas Tech has to play the winner out of James Madison and Oregon, and then Georgia has to play the winner out of Ole Miss and Tulane. So you could essentially have a situation where there were, obviously it's not going to happen, where if there were two upsets, Georgia could end up playing Tulane, Texas Tech could end up playing James Madison, and then, but there's no easy answer for either Indiana or Ohio State. They are going to play another team that has a high blue chip ratio and is a very proud, storied program.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that, like, I mean, and I mean, I would prefer if they reseeded and made it make more sense for the top seed so that they finally get, you know, whatever advantage you should get from having the kind of season that would make you the top seed. But you're going to have to win. You're going to have to win 3 games, man. You're going to have to win 3 hard-ass games.
The one seed should actually matter. You know, it feels like if you're 1 through 4, it's kind of the same, and you're just kind of waiting on a good draw. You know what I mean? And again, the 1 and 2 seed kind of get a bad draw.
No, I'm gonna say that if you're the 1 seed, it's actually worse for you in this scenario because the way the college football playoff works is that the 8 and 9 teams are always going to be power conference teams that are
at
really
large,
solid, that are at large. Yep. So they're always going to be teams that are 1 game away, a couple of plays away, theoretically, from having had elite seasons. Yep. The 11 and 12 seed are always going to be these group of 4 teams that have snuck their way into the playoffs.
Well, just a 12 seed, just a 12 seed, right? Because normally we won't get 2 of these guys this far.
Normally,
it's just
just a 12 seed. Fair enough. But like in this situation right here, that means that you could get an easier game if an upset happens. I mean, I don't know how easy the game will be considered if the upset happens because maybe the team goes out and proves how good they are. But in the 8 or 9 team, you're always going to get a really talented team that has something to prove. So it's always going to be a really competitive game. It's going to be a hard game for you if you're right there in that situation. Last year for Oregon, that game ended up being Ohio State down the line a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but man, Ohio State, I tell you what, if I'm Ohio State, go ahead. I mean, that draw that they got, man, that Miami A&M game. I mean,
either way that goes, that's a tough matchup.
Once again, they're going to have a little street fight, man, ahead of them, man.
They're playing in Columbus, though. Somebody going to get their head fucking stomped.
Wait, is that in Columbus?
No, that's not in Columbus.
Where is it at?
That'll be the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody's getting their head stumped in again anyway because it's going to be on
I like that save. I like that save. If there was a term where somebody going to get their head stumped in no matter what.
I'm sorry, man. If you, Miami, or A&M, Ohio State going to put their foot in your ass.
Damn.
I think that they are.
You feel that way? You feel that way even after you saw Saturday?
I do. I think that game was more about Indiana than it was about Ohio State. And also, if those 2 teams played again, I don't know that the result would be exactly the same, you know. But what happened on the field happened on the field. Van on the field, Lathan. But
on the field matters.
I think Ohio State is primed and poised to make the same type of run that they made in last year's playoff. I personally think the most interesting team out of all of these teams to me is Georgia. Georgia's the most interesting team.
They're in the Sugar Bowl.
They're in the Sugar Bowl. Georgia was a team that seemed to, man, by the skin of their teeth win some of these games. They seemed so beatable. So beatable, right? There's a couple of games they could have lost that they ended up pulling out and winning. But when you look towards the end of the season, Georgia found their identity and is playing some of the best football that they've played all year. So
defense grew up. Yeah.
Defense grew up. I think that Georgia is, to me, the wild card team. This could be a national championship team in Athens to me.
Well, you got a whole season of Gunnar Stockton as a starter now, so that he's presumably I didn't think he looked great, but presumably he's a much better quarterback now than he was at the beginning of the year.
Running backs are getting healthy. Nate Frazier's healthy.
They figured out the Nate Frazier thing, and they showed the hint of finally being able to get pressure. That's been Georgia's big problem this year. They haven't been able to generate any pressure. And so, like, against Todd Simpson, they had Todd Simpson in hell, man.
They had him sliding down 10 yards behind the line because he didn't want to get hit.
Yeah, man. So, and that's always the thing about Georgia, man, is it like they adjust. I love the clean hatreds that they have. Like, they're so aggressive. Georgia is the team that no matter what time of year you catch them, the violence always makes you jump out the screen. I'm like, damn, they're always hitting out there. So.
All right, final take. I don't want to take too much away from our show on Wednesday because we're going to try to break down these games, talk a little Heisman Trophy. Maybe we do a little Army-Navy talk if we want to. We'll look at some of the bowl games. But final take, Van, from the CFP decision show and kind of where we are in the process. Any parting shots for the people? Where do you stand right now?
This is part of it. This is part of it. This is part of the sport. Your disappointment is part of the sport. Your elation is part of the sport. The dysfunction is part of the sport. The scatterbrained sort of wild, wild west nature is a part of the sport. If you want uniformity, if you want consistency, if you want rationality, this is not the sport for you.
This is not your game.
It's never been the sport for you. The conversation about the cultural competition and who deserves it and who's skating by, that's a part of college football, and this is one of my favorite aspects of it.
I'm right there with you. Joel, final take for today.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say this. Man, it may turn out that Ohio State and Texas A&M are really lucky for having lost their last games. And both for a couple reasons. But can we quickly play this clip from Nick Saban, please?
Sometimes the best lessons you learn are when you do have failings. And you can always learn more when you don't do something exactly right. And it's human nature to be more willing to learn when things don't go right. So I think you don't want to waste the opportunity that when you did things that weren't successful, how could I improve on those things so that I become a better player, my performance is better, it helps the team more.
I don't think Ryan Day was excited about losing on Saturday, and I don't think like Mike Elko was jazzed about watching Texas stun on them like that, but I'm sure those losses hurt, like all losses hurt, and they just put so much into those games of care. But now I bet they've got the attention of those locker rooms in ways they would have never been able to get it if they hadn't lost. Like sometimes winning can fool you into believing you're better than you are, and that like you can't get your shit rocked, basically, right? Like, oh, we're always going to escape. We're fine. Now those guys can credibly go into their locker rooms and say, hey man, nobody believes in y'all. This is how you can prove people wrong. You can make yourselves underdogs. Everybody was saying Ohio State was clearing away the best team in the country. It was the Buckeyes versus the field. Now all of a sudden Ryan Day can say, man, people are calling you overrated. You couldn't, you let Indiana bully you. A&M, same thing. People are saying y'all the same old Aggies, man. Y'all are, you're always going to be the joke. Texas is always going to rule. You're always going to be little brother. And now A&M, Mike Elko can go in the locker room and say, hey, man, how real was that 11-0? Now we can go prove it. So
Alabama,
man,
too. Throw them in the mix. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So, look, it's not usually good to lose like that, but, man, they got a chance to get healthy, to set themselves right. I think the coaches love this. Coaches love this opportunity to be like, you're not as good as you thought you were, but let me show you how it can make us better.
Yeah, you hear that, Notre Dame? A loss can be a lesson. That's, kind of the takeaway from the show today. Also, grow up, Daddy. That's another big takeaway.
Grow up, people.
From this show. We will be back on Wednesday. Ringer Tailgate. We're going to forecast the matchups in more detail, discuss ripple effects around college football. We're also going to talk a little Heisman Trophy. Appreciate everybody tuning in to Ringer Tailgate. CFP is set. And again, we will see you all on Wednesday. Must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 27 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.